Journeyman, how we doing? This is a little bit different. I am in my squeaky chair, and instead of being in the mobile studio, I did want to just make a quick video for you guys. I don't know if it's going to be quick, but there's a lot of things that I'm learning while I'm going through college as a 31-year-old dude that I feel like is very important for other people, and it has to do with exercise, and you guys know I'm about exercise and stuff like that. So without further ado, man. So I'm taking 5 classes right now. If you don't know, now you know. If you're new here, I'm getting my bachelor's degree in kinesiology, and I'm also wanting to go on to get either a master's and or PhD in athletic training, or a doctorate right after my 4-year degree in physical therapy, or both. I don't know. So if you guys want to follow the journey, you can. If not, then cool. But I'm currently taking this class called Exercise is Medicine, and it basically, to summarize the last 5 weeks or 4 weeks, or I think it's 4 weeks. So we're in the beginning of it. I didn't know a lot of this stuff. So here's something that's very important. Moderate intensity aerobic guidelines in minutes for ages 18 to 65 adults, like how much time you should spend in moderate intensity aerobic exercise, which is an example of that would be like a brisk walk, or like a very light jog, or walking your dog, or something like that. So it says healthy adults ages 18 to 65 should participate in a minimum, no less than 30 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic physical activity. That's per day. And then it asks you frequency, which is at least 5 days per week, right? The guidelines are kind of iffy. So it's A or B plus C. A meaning physical activity, you need at least 150 minutes per week of physical activity. Physical activity and exercise is different. If you don't know, now you know. Ninja. I didn't know this. I mean, you know this, but you don't know this, right? It just seems like it's very basic knowledge, which it is, but not everyone knows this, so this is why. Anyways, 150 minutes physical activity. That could be walking your dog, that could be vacuuming, that could be dancing, that could be mowing the lawn, anything that's not really structured, that does get your skeletal muscle body moving, right? Physical activity right here. There's 10 seconds of it. All right, so vigorous intensity aerobic, A, B plus C. This could be B in this sense of the equation. So physical activity, 150 minutes, or vigorous activity or intensity of aerobic. So a minimum of 20 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic physical activity. That's a mouthful. That's per day. Vigorous intensity aerobic guideline frequency. So you want to do this at least 3 days per week, according to this book, Exercise is Medicine. So it's A or B plus C. C being weight training. Weight training is very important, apparently. I say apparently because I don't know what I'm talking about, dude. I'm learning like you guys are. So I figured that if I'm learning, I might as well give it back so you don't have to pay, $25,000 per semester like I am. Well, the VA is paying for it, so. Muscle strengthening guidelines. This is like how much you're supposed to, frequency-wise, per week. So adults should perform activities to maintain or increase muscular strength and endurance for a minimum 2 days per week. That's to a minimum, as in you need to do this shit. It's not in question if you should or not. You need to maintain. if you don't strength train and you get to like the age, I don't know, dude, these professors are freaking me out. I'm not gonna lie. These professors are like, yo, if you don't fucking strength train, you're gonna have a hard time getting off the toilet one day. And I'm like, dude, I haven't strength trained in a minute. And you see these pipe eyes, you see these arms. No, I've been running and like doing endurance sports for a long time. A long time being like, I've been running my whole life, but strength training, not so long. I've lifted weights and stuff, and I do ATG and stuff like that, but it's not. I mainly run and do cardio aerobic. That vigorous and physical activity, I definitely hit that guidelines. Next topic. Active classification range. Oh, here we go. So if you sit more, if you have like a more sedentary lifestyle in work, so let's say you're sitting down like I am, or you're a college student, or number two, you work in an office and you're just crunching the numbers all day, and you're like, fuck. Right? They recommend, as in, I don't actually know who says this. I'm just getting it from the book, but I don't know how to cite it. I know how to cite it. I don't know where to cite it from. So just keep in mind, this ain't an educational channel. This is more of an entertainment channel, if you know what I mean. Anyways, if you sit more, or rather, if you sit mainly throughout the day, you should get at least 300 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity per week instead of the 150. Physical activity, that just means a walk. If you want to break that down per week, that's like an hour. So just walk 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, you're good to go. You should be walking your dogs anyways that time. So that's easy. High active classification, exceeding the equivalent of 300 minutes of moderate intensity. That's just considered overdoing it. Tryhards. Insufficient activity. Okay, so it's talking about different levels of classification. So active classification ranges, meaning active 150 per week in terms of minutes, total minutes. And then highly active classification would be over 150 minutes, which is pretty easy, equivalent of 300 minutes. And then insufficient activity, which is less, meaning less than a target range of prescribed exercise required substantial health benefits. Required for substantial health benefits. So insufficient active definition. Cool. Inactive definition, you're just sitting down all day, not getting any moderate or vigorous intensity physical activity beyond basic movements for daily life activities. Don't do that, guys. Don't be that guy or gal. Examples of vigorous activity aerobic, examples of vigorous intensity aerobic activity. So that just gives you a bunch of like jump rope, high intensity interval training, sprint interval training, sit. I didn't know that acronym, by the way. Running, biking, uphill, jogging, playing soccer, tennis, singles, stuff like that. This is very basic stuff. 2024 adult guideline compliance rate. This is pretty funny. You can put this in the comments. This is what I guessed during class, and I was like one of the only students. I was like, yo, this sounds crazy. But what do you guys think the percentage of people that are age 18 or over met the guidelines of activity for aerobic and muscle strengthening activity? I don't know if I said that correctly, but what percent of people do you think that are 18 or over met the actual compliance guidelines of at least 150 minutes per week of physical activity? Physical activity, dancing, moving, shopping, walking around outside, or muscle strengthening activity, So 150 and at least minimum 2 days, like we just learned, of muscle strengthening activity. What percent of that? It's a lot less than you think, to be honest. It's pretty staggering. 26.4% actually. 26.4% of the population only meet that guidelines. Are you freaking This is according to this is insane. So I did ask the professor. I'm like, yo, when is this study? When is the census taken? So it's taken every 10 years. I don't even know if I used census correctly right there, but when is the total? When is the start and stop basically taken of this data? As my statistics professor says, data. When is all this stuff taken? It's every 10 years, so they're about to come out with 2025. And she was saying, my professor for exercises medicine, that to be honest, it's not going to look good. It's probably going to go down, boss man, because the COVID, as you know, royally FUCKED'd pretty much everybody in their physical activity guidelines, unless you're a weirdo. I saw a dude on Facebook run a marathon in his bathtub, just for like hours, obviously. Yeah, I'm not that guy, so I definitely didn't meet the minimum requirements. Okay, next. Age group with highest guideline compliance. Okay, so this is pretty important too. Who do you think adults, what age range do you think met the actual highest rate of physical activity, active guidelines? Meaning 150 active per week, or the vigorous, minimum 3 times a week, 20 minutes, and the 2 days minimum of strength training. This is it's kind of normal. 18 to 44 years have the highest rate of meeting physical activity guidelines. I thought it was going to be younger, to be honest, like 18 to 25. Age group with the lowest, obviously it's the older people, 65. Aerobic guidelines, option A versus option B. So this is what I was talking about. Option A, 30 minutes of moderate, 5 days a week. Option B is 20 minutes vigorous, 3 days a week. Both require muscle strengthening. So A or B plus C, 150, chilling out, low intensity, low impact. Or B, HIIT training, 3 times a week, 20 minutes total, and muscle strengthening. So I myself, I look like I do this, but I definitely don't, and I'm trying to, I need to intend to do this, right? So just keep that in mind, the guidelines. If you don't know where to start, 150, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, 2 days of strength training. Pretty simple. Total minutes of substantial health benefits. So the guidelines, like I said, 150 to 300 minutes per week, 5 hours per week of physical activity, not exercise. It's a lot different. This just talks about boring. I like that. The main prevention goal of exercise is medicine. So healthy lifestyle choices today prevent future diseases and increase the quality of life. We already know this stuff. Sedentary behaviors and active activity needs. Excessive sedentary, we already went over this, but excessive sedentary behaviors, that sounds so weird. It sounds like sanitary. Sedentary, meaning sitting. Behaviors lead to a greater need to engage in more than the minimum required values of physical activity, which we already covered. Yep. Very confident. Vigorous intensity. Oh, it's just asking me the same questions because I didn't go through them again. Sorry. Very confident. Very confident. Very confident. All right, that's pretty much the exercise is medicine. Don't waste your time spending $24,000 or whatever it is per semester when you got me talking about it. All right, so till next time.